Hey YouTube fam, it's your girl Alicia and I'm back with another DIY video. So this video I am super excited about, y'all. Like, if you guys can tell already, this is the Princess and the Frog theme and this is a graduation cap. Okay, and I'm so excited about this because last year when I was making custom graduation caps, I got so many orders for the Princess and the Frog. Like, I was so shocked. Like, I love the Princess and the Frog, the movie, like I love it, but I didn't know that that many people wanted it for their graduation. Like, I had gotten so many requests on it, so I'm finally able to bring this DIY to you guys and show you guys how to make these graduation caps. Like, this came out so gorgeous, so beautiful. Now I'll tell you from now, my camera didn't do it any justice because what you guys are viewing is nowhere near as nice as this cap. And for some reason the feathers in the video kept coming up like a bluish kind of color, so hopefully I can kind of get some real views of it where you guys can see the nice plum purple feathers that's around there. I added fairy lights to this cap as well. We added rhinestones. I mean, it just, this cap is just wow. Like, when I came up with that design in my brain, this like exceeded what I pictured in my head. Like, this is, I absolutely love it, and I hope you guys love it as well. And so I'm going to show you guys step by step. We're going to make the full cap together on camera, so you know what, I'm not going to ramble on too much. So to make this cap the same way that I did, you'll have to head over to my website, creativecraftllc.com, and grab my template. My template is pre-designed. I'll put a link down below for you guys. When you get to the website, you'll scroll down to graduation cap toppers, okay? And I also have matching fans to go along with this design as well. And I'm making a few other matching party favors and things like that as well. So when you get to graduation cap toppers, we're doing the 3D cap in this video, okay? It's going to say 3D. If it doesn't say 3D, it's not going to come with the layers. It is going to be the Princess and the Frog template, but it's not going to come with the layers. So it's going to be a regular flat cap topper once you print it. But the one that says 3D, it comes with the layers so that we can turn this into a 3D. Now, I'm going to show you guys how it looks because these are instant downloads, and the 3D cap toppers come in a file, a folder of 3 images, okay? And I'll show you guys here in a second. Once we open up the folder, we're going to save each of the images, okay? It'll be 3 picture images and you're going to save each one, okay? The first image is going to be your graduation cap topper. I'm trying to pull it open right now so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. My laptop is acting kind of wonky. Okay, so here's the folder, and these are all 3 images, and they're all PNG file, okay? So the first image is going to be the template, the top part of your cap topper, okay? The main design, the main surface, okay? So here is how the main template looks. Notice how the images are kind of cut off with the Princess and the Diploma and the class of 2025. That's on purpose, okay? So when you print it, it's going to look exactly like this because the other layers is going to cover up this main template. Basically, it's going to cover the other layers are going to be the Princess and the Diploma and the class of 2025. Those are going to be full images, and those are going to cover the template images of those images, if that makes sense. But you'll see when I'm putting it together, okay? Here's your second image. You're going to go ahead and save that. Then here's your third image. You're going to go ahead and you're going to save that as well. I'm only going to do 3 layers, and each of the images already have 3 images on each page. So I'm only going to print one of each page, okay? For our first image, our template, we're going to print that on sticker paper, and I'm using a glossy sticker paper. I'll link it down below. I'll get it from Amazon. So we're going to print our template, our main template, on glossy sticker paper, okay? And then we're going to print our other 2 images on cardstock. Now, when I printed this, I was printing a lot of images at a time, and my printer was about to jam. So that's why it looks crooked like that, because I heard when the printer picked up the paper and it made a sound. I said, oh, it's about to jam. And before it jammed, the jam sound stopped and then it printed anyway. But this is why it looks crooked like that. It's because the printer was about to jam once the paper fed into it. Somehow, some way, it just stopped. Thank God, because I would have ended up wasting ink. But you know, it printed out the way it was supposed to. It's kind of wonky, but it still printed out perfect, okay? And this is how nice it looks. It looks really, really good. The sticker paper is very ultra glossy, and I found that it does not smudge, which is the reason why I love using this particular type of paper. Like I said, I get it from Amazon, and I'll link it down below for you guys. And it's going to be put on the cap that way, like the diagonal or the diamond shape way. So I'm just showing you guys basically how it's going to look once we put it on that graduation cap. And the other two images are our layers. Now, you can do more than 3 layers of each image if you choose to. I just feel like 3 layers is enough, okay? But you can, of course, print more copies, print more pages of each one, and do several more layers, okay? This I printed on regular cardstock. You can use heavyweight cardstock if you want to. It really doesn't matter. This is just regular lightweight cardstock that came from Walmart for about a pack of 100 for about like $5. We also have our glue gun. We also have some scissors. I have both my large size scissors and a smaller scissor. You're going to need both. And I have some rice. I got these little sticky back gems from Dollar Tree. Okay, they don't stick back that well to me. I ended up using other sticky stuff as well, but I got that from Dollar Tree for $1. I decided to go ahead and use the rhinestones to put on the top layer that's going to go on the Princess and the Frog. I wanted to put it on the fireflies, the lightning flies. I forgot what they're called, the lightning flies. I have some clear tacky glue, but I didn't end up using that. I have some, these are the purple feathers, and they kind of look blue to me on camera, but they're a nice, pretty plum purple. I don't know why they look that color on camera, but they're a really pretty purple, plummy looking color. I have a stapler as well. Here's our graduation cap, and we have some laminate. Now, the laminate pieces I'm going to be using, I'm going to be linked those down below for you guys. It's a glitter printed holographic looking laminate. It's two different shades. One of them are stars, and I want to put that one on the overall template. And then the other one is very glittery, like a super glittery looking laminate sheet. And I want to use those for the top layers of our 3D images, okay? And I'll show you guys that here in a second. This one I actually love. I use this one the most when it comes to making my graduation toppers because the glitter just pops. And then, of course, we have our graduation cap. I got this from Amazon for about $9. I'll link that down below as well. Okay. So we have that, and then we have let me see what we got. Oh, we got our fairy lights. Okay, I got this on Amazon for a pack of 6 for about $5-6. Not bad at all. Okay, and they did the job perfectly, and we're gonna use that in this graduation cap. I also have these little command hooks, and we're gonna use that to hook the lights, okay, on the graduation cap. And this is the perfect thing to use because it's clear, okay, and it hooks the lights perfectly. And then we have some fastener dots, like Velcro dots. We're gonna use that to keep the battery of the fairy lights in place on the cap, okay? And then we have some gems, but I ended up not using the gems because the sticky back rhinestones that we had, for me, it ended up being enough. But these are some gems that I got from Amazon as well, and I'll link that down below, even though I'm not going to be using them in this video, okay? And there was about 2 other supplies that we used, some balloon dots, and something else that I forgot to mention, but I'll show you guys once I grab it. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut out our layers. We always want to do our cutting first because we want to go ahead and cut, then we want to go ahead and we want to add our laminate sheets to the images that require the lamination, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and just cut out the images. I'll probably cut out like one of each on camera and then come back and show you guys how they look. Or I might cut out all of them and just speed up some of the clips, okay? But this is quick and easy cutting, about maybe about a minute to cut out each images because the images are fairly large, okay? So if you want to, since these are PNG files, if you want to upload them to your cutting machine and have them cut it, then that's perfectly fine. But over here, we cut things out by hand, okay? And I'm hoping that a lot of my graduates this year actually come across this video and they can learn how to make their own customized graduation cap. So they might not have cut machines. So I'm doing this old school. We're going to go ahead and use a scissor like always. I'm an old school chick. We always do it the old school way, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and cut out probably one of each image on camera and show you guys. Then I'm going to go ahead and laminate our images and our template that's going to cover our graduation cap, okay? This DIY, you guys are going to absolutely love it, okay? Because the end result, so beautiful, so gorgeous. I mean, without the feathers and all the extra stuff, even though we like extra, but without the feathers, without the fairy lights, without the rhinestones, even the template itself is really, really nice. Even if you just bought the template and you wanted to just put the template on there with the 3D images and nothing else, it's going to look good just like that. Either way it goes. But we went over the top in this video. I went extra in this video. So we're going to go ahead and do this nice over the top Tiana theme graduation cap topper. And I also have, this one is going to be the princess and the diploma. I also have the princess and the degree and the princess and the graduation as well, depending on what level they're graduating from. So you can do all age groups, okay? But let me go ahead and finish cutting this out and come back and show you guys how we're looking, and then we'll go ahead and finish putting our graduation cap together. Okay, so now that I finished cutting out our layer images, I'm going to put those aside, and then we're going to go ahead and work on our template. Okay, our main template topper. So we're going to go ahead and cut off the sides or the edges of that template. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab my scissor and cut off the white edges of our template, and we're going to add our laminate. So before I add the laminate, I like to staple the very top part of that laminate sheet. This laminate comes off of the backing all the way once you open it, like most laminates do. I've had a few that didn't, but this one does. So I want to go ahead and staple the top part because it helps the laminate not to come all the way off when we're putting the design onto the laminate. And it's very, it's to me, it's the best way to do it. It helps make sure that the laminate goes on very flat. That way it won't be any super huge air bubbles, or you won't have to scrap it, because once that sticker, once that laminate starts to go down on that sticker paper, it's not forgiving. Sometimes you can't just hurry up and peel it back up. Once it's on there, it's on there, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and cut off the white sides or the white edges of our template. Then we're going to go ahead and open up that laminate sheet, and we're going to go ahead and put the template on top of the backing of the laminate sheet once we open it, and then we're going to go ahead and glide that sticker laminate down on top of that template. It's super easy, but with this doing this, definitely take your time when you're doing this step. Okay, when you're laminating anything, you definitely want to take your time, especially when you're doing self lamination. But don't rush it. Just go ahead and take your time and slowly pat down the laminate sheet on top of your image. Okay, you don't never want to rush. Well, when it comes to crafting, you don't want to rush at all because you'll make mistakes. But with this step specifically, you want to go ahead and you want to take your time. Okay, now I'm just going to go ahead and open up our laminate sheet. The laminate is not going to slide off all the way because we did put the staples in there, so I'm not concerned about that. So I'm going to go ahead and take my time and use I don't have any nails. My nails are very like non-existent, so it takes me a second sometimes to get the laminate sheet open. But once we get that open, we're going to go ahead and add our template. Just going to lay it on top of the backing of the laminate once we open it, and then we're going to go ahead and slide down that clear laminate on top of our template. And this is the laminate that has like the stars pattern. It's like a nice holographic looking stars images. Okay, and then we're going to use the glitter laminate for the top layers for of our 3D images. Okay, so now I went ahead and opened that up. We're going to lay down our template inside of on the backing of our laminate sheet. Okay, make sure you're laying it down in the correct direction so that the laminate is going to cover all of the template. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and lay that down. I'm going to pull it back, make sure it's pulled back good, and then lay it down towards the top where the staples are. Then I'm going to go ahead and use one hand to pat down and use the other hand to hold the laminate sheet up. Okay, and you guys will see here in a second exactly what I mean. If you've seen one of my other videos, you already know what I'm going to do. But for my newbies, you know, this is how you would do it. This is the best way to do it, in my opinion. So one hand is flattening the laminate sheet to get the air bubbles out, and the other hand is slowly laying down the laminate sheet. Okay, this is the best way to do it. I'm more than likely going to buy a laminator because they have some that also has cold lamination where you don't have to use thermal. So more than likely I'm going to buy one because I'm going to put the templates for sale. The templates by itself, I'm going to offer them for sale for printed and shipped on my website where I can have the template shipped to you and you can do your own graduation cap. I'm just going to go ahead and cut off that excess laminate that we don't need. I can use that for like a smaller project. I'm just going to go ahead and cut that off, and then we're just going to go ahead and remove the backing and just cut off whatever excess laminate that we might have. And then we're going to go ahead and take out the air bubbles as well. One of our craft sisters gave me a good tip that to get the air bubbles out, you use a pin, like a clothing pin, and just pop the air bubbles out. I don't see too many big air bubbles, but I see a couple of small ones. So I'm going to go ahead and take the pin and pop those small air bubbles. And once you pop them, the air comes out. You just flatten it with your finger and it comes right out. Super easy, super simple, and a really, really good tip that I was giving. Okay, that's why it's always good to do things in a community or in a group because you can feed off of each other and give each other's ideas and tips and things like that. So if you're a crafter watching the video and you have a tip on how something should be done, definitely go ahead and put that in the comment box, okay? Because we can all learn from each other. So I'm going to go ahead and just pop some of the air bubbles, well, the noticeable ones anyway, and then go ahead and flatten it out. And then I'm going to show you guys up close real quick of how the template itself looks. I love using the holographic printed laminates because they give the template an extra touch of wow, of glam, especially with this being a girl's design. And the template in itself already has like a rhinestone effect, like because when I make them I also add like shimmer and glitter in the actual design, but that laminate to me just takes it over the edge. So if you are making graduation toppers this year, definitely consider using laminate to on top of your templates. Okay, now I'm going to show you guys how it looks. Hopefully my camera gets it pretty well to show you guys the glitter and how it shines. You guys can see it a little bit. I'm going to show you guys in better lighting once the cap is finished so you guys can definitely see it. But yeah, you can see it right here in the camera. You can see it really on the edge or definitely in that purple, the princess and the diploma. Look how beautiful. Look how nice that looks. And when it's outside in the sunlight, man, this thing really pops, guys. Like, it's gorgeous when you're in the sun. It truly, truly is. Now that we went ahead and laminated our template, I'm going to go ahead and put that to the side, and we're going to go ahead and work on our 3D images, our 3D layers, okay? Remember, we cut out 3 images, 3 pieces of each image, 3 class of 2025 and 3 of the princess and the diploma. We're going to only laminate one of each, okay? So we're only going to laminate one class of 2025 and one of the princess and the diploma, okay? So I went ahead and added the staples to the top of that laminate sheet as well. And I didn't cut out those two images on purpose because I wanted to laminate it, and then we're going to cut it out after. So if you're going to make this cap, I suggest you watch the video all the way through because sometimes I break the videos up when I'm editing it. When we were cutting out our designs, I did put aside two images. I don't think I mentioned that. So I only cut out two of the princess and diploma and two of the class of 2025. The other two we don't want to cut out yet because we want to cut it out when we're cutting it out on our laminate sheet, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and open up the laminate. And then I'm going to go ahead and put those two images on the backing, and we're going to go ahead and laminate those. Then we're going to cut them out the same way that the other images are cut out. It just makes sense doing it that way. If I had already cut them out, I would have to cut them out again with the laminate. So it makes sense to just go ahead and leave it printed out on the cardstock and then cut it out with the laminate sheet. Okay, it just makes better sense. So I'm gonna give my camera a second to focus. Sometimes it does this, but I'm gonna go ahead and lay the images in the inside, one on top of the other or one above the other, and then we're gonna go ahead and put our adhere our laminate onto them. Then we're going to go ahead and cut those images out, and these two images are our third and final layer. So the other two images are going to be the first two layers that we put down. Your laminate image is definitely the one that you want to put on the top. It's your top layer, if that makes sense. But you'll see in a second. You'll see in a second once I put the cap together, because the top layer is a layer that's going to be shown on the cap. So we want our top layer to be the one that we laminate. Okay, you don't have to laminate the other two. You can if you want to, but to me it defeats the purpose. It'll be a waste of laminating because you're not going to see those images. Okay, it's going to be underneath these two. Okay. Look at that sparkle, y'all. Like, wow, I love it. This glitter laminate is my favorite, my absolute favorite. So I bought a pack of laminate. I think it came like 30, I think 36 in a pack with 6 different prints, and then you get 6 sheets of each print. But they do have the option of where you can just buy one particular print by itself, because I remember last year I bought this glitter one by itself, like a pack of 50 of them. So you can definitely find a specific print that you can just buy by itself. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut that out. I'll speed this up. It was a quick and easy cut like the other ones were. Okay, just a little bit thicker because of course we got that laminate on there, but it was a simple cut. So I'm going to go ahead and speed this up and cut those two out, and then we're going to go ahead and continue to work on our graduation cap. I hope you guys are enjoying this so far. I love the way that this turned out, guys. Love it, love it, love it. And I made another one, and I didn't use feathers. I just used like rhinestone, gold rhinestone border around the template once I put the template onto the cap, and that one came out beautiful as well. You don't always have to go over the top. You could keep it even a little bit more simple, which I did with the other cap, and I'll show you guys. If I don't forget, I'll show you guys in this video how that one turned out as well. But yeah, but these templates are coming out really nice, which are making the graduation caps come out really, really nice. And of course, I'm going to do a couple of giveaways in this video on this template. I think, yeah, you know what, I'll do the giveaway on this template. I was going to do the giveaway on the princess and the graduation, but I'll go ahead and do it on this one, the princess and the diploma. I'll do it on this one. But stay tuned to the ending of this video to get your giveaway. Okay, I'll only post the giveaways once the video premieres. Okay, once the video premieres, you can go ahead and you can refresh your screen, and the template link or the giveaway link is going to be in the description box of the video. So here's how our class of 2025 looks up front with our glitter laminate, and it's so pretty. And I know you probably can't tell now, but that it has that rainbow effect to it, but it does, and it's so nice in the sunlight, y'all. So I'm going to go ahead and put that aside, and we're going to go ahead and start with our other images. But first, we're going to go ahead and attach our laminate onto our cap. Sorry, we're going to attach our template onto the cap. Not the laminate. The laminate is already on the template. We're going to go ahead and attach our template onto our cap. So in the center of your template, you're going to have a white hole. Okay, depending on the type of template that you get, you'll have a white or you'll have a black hole. This one I have a black hole because it is better. It blends in better with the design of the cap. So anyways, you're going to go ahead and we're going to pinch down because we're going to cut out that white circle, that white hole, because we're going to put that on our cap. That's going to be where the button goes on your graduation cap, okay? So we're going to go ahead and take a smaller scissor. You want to use a smaller scissor or even um, a rotary, like a rotary cutter when you're doing this, and I'll show you guys in one of my next videos because I couldn't find my rotary cutter. I had to order one from Amazon. It didn't come yet, so I'm just gonna go ahead and use my smaller scissor. But once I get my rotary cutter, I'll show you guys how to use it with that, because that gives it a more clean cut. But this worked just fine as well. So I just pinch down the center a little bit, then you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna cut, and you don't want to fold down the whole template. You're only folding down right at that center where that hole is, okay, just like that. And then you see how nice and crisp that cut is. One straight cut and we got it out. Then we're going to go ahead and place that on top of our graduation cap. Now, this is very important. Before you place your template on top of your cap, you have to line up your cap from the front to the back, okay? Find the front of your cap. Typically, the front of the cap is where you have that V shape because that goes over your forehead, okay? Which is right here in the front. It gives that little V shape right at the front. Then in the back of your cap is where you'll have your elastic because that goes over the larger part of your head in the back, okay? So here's the back of our cap where our elastic is. So you want the front of the cap to be facing you when you're putting the template on, okay? Now that I went ahead and grabbed the front, I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to hold the front down so that the front is facing me. And you're going to put your cap down in a diamond shape. That's how our template is going to lay down on the front of our cap, okay? Now, the back of your cap is where it's going to say class of 2025. That's going to go towards the back of your cap. Because when you sit down, that's where you want people to look at. They're going to look at the tip of your cap. So that belongs at the tip. So you're going to go ahead and line that up. You're going to go ahead and put that part, okay, towards the back of the cap. And you're going to have the princess and the diploma towards the front of your cap. Super simple. Just take your time and just be aware of this. On the orders I'm going to be shipping out, the templates, when people order templates, I'm going to go ahead and put a sticker and put where the front is and where the back is on each design so that they know where to put it on their cap, okay? So now I'm going to take these balloon stickies, and I didn't mention this in my list of supplies. I didn't show you guys, but these balloon stickies, I love using them, even though we're using sticker paper, so our template is going to stick to our cap. I always like to be extra careful. I want everything to be made very durable, so I like using these little balloon sticky backs. They're very strong. You can even use them to hang up pictures and things like that, but they are very strong adhesives, okay? Very, very strong. I'm just going to go ahead and put like 8. I'll put 4 around the button area, and then I'll put another one on each of the points of the cap, okay? That's all you need. You don't need any more than that. You don't have to overdo it, but if you want to, by all means, go ahead. The sticker paper, the adhesive is strong enough where it's going to stay on your cap. This is just extra protection. And when I ship off my template orders, I'm going to also put a few of these in the order as well, so people can use this to also help to adhere their template onto their cap. Now that we have done that, we can go ahead and peel off the sticker to our template and go ahead and put it onto the top of our graduation cap. It's super simple, super easy, but do indeed take your time, okay? And this sticker paper, I found that is very, very good on the material of this cap. No peeling up or anything like that. But most sticker paper is, but this one I feel like it's strong, it's durable. I really love using this kind of paper. I hope Amazon never stops selling it because this truly, for me, it is the best. And like I said, I'll link that down below for you guys. Now I'm going to go ahead and make sure that my cap is lined up. We're going to go ahead and push the center down into the button of our cap. Okay, and take your time when doing this. There's no right or wrong way of doing it, guys, and there's really no way to mess it up. Okay, it's just about taking your time, okay, and laying it down flat. But this goes down very, very easily, okay. And once you get it angled, you can go ahead and make sure that it's on there straight on each point. Each point matches up. The points of the template matches up to the points of your cap. And then just go ahead and smooth it down. And that's really all you have to do. Trust me, it's not going anywhere. It's staying right there just like that. Okay? So after I smooth it down a little bit, we're going to go ahead and we're going to start adding our 3D layers. But you know what? I think before I add the 3D layers, I think I'm going to go ahead and add the feathers first because I want I want the layers to be on top of our feather trim, okay? And that's how we're looking so far. That was super simple, super easy, okay? And you can see that shine already. I just love the way this cap turned out. Awesome. So awesome. So we're gonna go ahead and work on our 3D layers now, okay? And I noticed that with Amazon, it is not Amazon's fault, 'cause I know that people sell on Amazon, but this hat was a little tiny bit wonky as far as the inside, like whatever they use in the cap, cardboard, or whatever they use, it felt a little bit uneven. And I noticed it when I took it out of the Amazon packaging, but you know what? I had already ordered it. It already came to the house, so I'm gonna make it work. But it didn't affect the way that the design came out. I just noticed that it was a little bit wonky as far as like inside of the cap. Okay, so I went ahead and pulled out my layers, but I'm gonna go ahead and refrain from using any layers just yet. I'm just gonna go ahead and show you guys how I put the rhinestones on the fireflies, or the lightning flies, or whatever you guys tend to call them. Okay, so I went ahead and used some more of those balloon adhesive. Now the rhinestones did say sticky back, and they do have like a sticky back on the back of it, but I just felt like they'll probably come off easily because it wasn't a strong sticky back. So I went ahead and said, you know what? Let me go ahead and use, rather than using glue, because I did pull out some glue, but I didn't use it. I said, rather than using glue, let me go ahead and use my balloon dots and add a few of them around the butt, or the firefly butt of where the light is, so I can go ahead and just tack the rhinestones onto that. Ended up being a wonderful, a perfect idea, I should say, because it worked perfect, probably better than glue would, because sometimes with glue, especially tacky glue, you have to let it cure overnight. And I said, you know what, let me just go ahead and use the balloon stickers because they're so strong anyway. I just went ahead and peeled off a couple of the rhinestones and added it to that, and it worked out perfect. They're there, they're stuck, and they're not going anywhere. Okay, this is so them little sticky backs. The balloon dots are also a good option for sticking other things as well. Okay, so yeah, super cool, super easy. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and stick on a couple of them onto the butts of the flies, and these are gonna be. This layer is the top layer. This is our laminated layer, so that's going to be the top layer. You don't have to put rhinestones or anything on the other ones because, like I said, it's going to be a waste because they're going to be underneath this layer. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and finish doing that. Then we're going to go ahead and add the trim, or the feather trim, onto our cap. You could add the 3D layers before you add your trim, but because I'm using feather and feather is so puffy, to me it made sense in this design to go ahead and add the feathers on first, then go ahead and add the layers onto the cap after. Okay, but if you're adding like a rhinestone trim that's flat just like the template is, you can just go ahead and just do your layers first and add your rhinestone after. Or to be honest, you don't have to add any trim at all if you choose not to, because the template in itself with the 3D images are enough to make this cap look good because of the laminate sheet gives it that glow. So just by adding the the laminated template and the 3D images with the top one being laminated, you don't have to do anything more. You can leave it just like that. But we like to be over the top and extra. So I went ahead and put them feathers and them fairy lights on that cap. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys here in a second how we're going to put on our feathers now. The feathers I did get from Hobby Lobby for about $4, and it comes like, I want to say 2 yards. I think one is, I know it's longer than a yard, so I want to say their feather boas are about 2 yards. Here's how our stones look on the firefly. And super cute. It just adds an extra touch of wildness. Okay, so the feathers come in like, I want to say a 2 yard roll, or is the feather boa itself is 2 yards long. That can do two graduation caps. Okay, and it's just how the tag looks. And yeah, they have multiple colors at Hobby Lobby. You can go there, or you can call before you go there to make sure that they have the color that you want. But they always have the feathers in the section where they have the t-shirts is where they normally have the feathers. Okay, and like I said, they always have a bunch of different colors. Okay, I use feathers for a couple of different projects that I do, um as far as my crafting. Okay, so I always get my feathers from there, but of course they have feathers on Amazon as well. So we're going to go ahead and cut off some of that rope on that feather, and the feathers are made, the boa is a rope, that's what the feathers are sewn into. So we're going to be basically sticking that rope down. Okay, so I'm using my glue gun, and I'm going to put like a good amount of glue. Okay, don't need a whole lot, but you want to have a good amount. So I'm going to put a good amount of glue, then I'm going to go ahead and keep on dabbing. Now once I'm dabbing down, and I found some pink, like some pink paper in it, which was very weird. and I had to pull that out. But I'm gonna go ahead and put the glue gun down, put the glue down. Then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm really pushing that rope into that glue, if that makes sense. Okay. So I'm basically pushing the rope of the feather into the glue, and we're going to keep doing that till we get all the way back to the top part of that cap. And if you guys can see the amount of glue that I'm putting down, that's about a good amount of glue that you need to put down. And go ahead and hold it, push that rope down into that glue. Then you hold it for a few seconds. We all know that we're using a glue gun. It dries really, really fast, so it don't take much time. But you want to go ahead and make sure that you're gluing the rope of that feather boa into that glue, okay? That makes it more stable. Don't just glue the feathers on there. Glue, make sure you're gluing down that rope of that boa into that glue, okay? If it makes sense. I'm sure it does to you guys, okay? But I'm going to go ahead and keep on gluing all the way around, and I'm going to come back and show you guys how that looks. Then I think I'm just going to go ahead and put on the fairy lights after I finish gluing down the boa, and then we're going to go ahead and put down our 3D images, or our layers of our images on top of it after I put down the fairy lights. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and finish gluing and come back and show you guys what we're working with after it's glued down. The feathers are glued down on the top of that graduation cap. So now that we have glued down the feather boa, this is what we're looking like. It's looking really, really good. I'm just gonna show you guys an example of how it'll look. And this is the reason why I wanted to glue down the feathers on top of it first, okay? Since the feathers are so puffy, and then we're gonna put our layers on after. But before we put on the layers, of course, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys how I do the fairy lights, okay? And I got these fairy lights off of Amazon, okay? And I also got the command hooks from Amazon. If I'm not mistaken, either Amazon or Walmart. But the command hooks couldn't have been no more than about $4 or $5. And they come with a couple of different, I want to say maybe about if not 20, probably close to 20 hooks, and they're clear, which is the reason why I chose them. Because they're clear, they blend in with the design of the cap. And I want to say we used about 6, maybe 8 hooks in this design or on this cap, but I'm pretty sure that I used probably about 6 of them. Because you really don't need a whole lot, okay? You just want to have a few of them angled around the top part of the cap. We're going to kind of tuck it into the feathers, okay, or underneath the feathers where we, and you want the hook to be facing the side of the feathers, if that makes sense, because we're going to go ahead and put our fairy light into the hook. Okay, so you guys will see here in a second exactly what I mean, but this is super simple, super easy, and to me this is the best way to put the fairy light. The other way you can do it is you can wrap the fairy light around the boa before you glue it on, but my only concern about that was when it's time for me to glue it, I didn't want the heat of that glue to affect the fairy light, if that makes sense. I didn't want it to end up melting it because the fairy lights are very thin. The wiring is thin, and of course we know it's made out of plastic as well. So I didn't want, because I first initially said, you know what, maybe let me go ahead and wrap it around the bow, but I was like, no, because I'm going to use the glue gun to glue it down, and I don't want the heat of the glue gun to accidentally melt the plastic of the fairy light or the wiring part of it. So I said, you know what, let me go ahead and put the lights down after. I was like, you know what, let me go ahead and use some command hooks. And here's how the light looks once you take it out of the package. And it's fairly bright, very, very bright. And they already come with the batteries inside of the battery pack, okay, which is really, really good, okay. And I want to say that the lifespan that they advertise on the battery, it's about 6 to 8 hours, if I'm not mistaken, if the lights are left on. Okay, of course, once you turn it off, your battery life is longer. And this is how it looks when you're unraveling the fairy light. Be very careful because it's a very thin metal that's used for the actual lights itself. So be very careful. You don't want to pull it or anything. Just be very, very careful with it. Okay, we're gonna put the battery pack of the light underneath the cap, more so towards the back side, the back of that cap. So where it says class of 2025, that's of course the back of our cap. So I want to have the battery close to the back. So if the graduate wants to put on the light, it'll be closer towards the back of their head than the front. If that makes sense. To me it just makes sense to put it towards the back or the center side of towards the back of that cap. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use those Velcro adhesive dots to stick that onto the underside of that cap. Okay, to me that's also the best thing to use as well. I'm going to use 2 dots. You can use 1, but 2 to me is extra stability. So I'm going to go ahead and get our pack of Velcro fasteners or our Velcro dots. Then I'm going to go ahead and take out, we're using 4 altogether. 2 soft and 2 scratchy. Okay, and they're already separated in the pack, so you guys will know because you can feel it with your finger, the different textures. So I'm going to go ahead and put down a scratchy one, and then I'm going to go ahead and put the soft one on top of that. Okay, and turn it, I'm going to turn it around so that the sticky side is facing my finger. Okay, and we're going to just go ahead and attach it just so. Okay, so these are 2 rough sides I'm putting down, and then we're going to go ahead and put 2 soft sides on top of that. Okay, and the sticky part is facing my finger, so I'm going to go ahead and put the soft scratchy on top of the hard scratchy. Okay, super simple, super easy. Okay, just go ahead and follow these steps exact and you can't go wrong. Okay, I've made several of these, so trust me, I know. And then we're going to go ahead and just stick that right into position on towards the bottom of that cap. Okay, I put it towards the bottom point on the side so that the graduate can go ahead and click on and off. Okay, so whenever you're making something, you always have to think about how the person buying it is going to be able to use it, what makes sense. So, it's always good to use yourself as a trial run first. Like my first graduation cap, I completely messed up because I did everything wrong. I put the cap, the template on the wrong direction. It was just all wrong. Okay. Once I put it on my head, I said, "Oh no, this is not right." So it taught me of how to do it better the next time. You know what I mean? So yeah. So if you don't know something, just try it out on yourself first, and then you know where to go from there. I'm trying to give you guys as best tips as I can so that when you make this, especially if you're doing it for the first time, you won't mess up. Now that we got that battery pack on there, I'm going to go ahead now and put down our hooks. And like I said, I want the hook part to be facing the feather, okay? Because we're going to click the rope of that butterfly, that fairy light underneath that hook, okay? And they come with adhesive squares as well to put onto the hooks. And these are super simple, super easy to use, just as simple as the balloon dots, as very, very, very simple like the balloon dots, and very strong like the balloon dots as well. So I'm going to go ahead and take one of the stickies, then I'm going to go ahead and stick it down, and I'm going to go ahead and peel off the backing, and then we're going to go ahead and put it down on our graduation cap, okay? And try to get it as close towards that feathers as possible, okay? Try to kind of corner it in there or stick it in there, okay, right at the edge of our template, okay? I probably could have went a little bit further than that, but that's fine just like that. And the hook part, like I said, is facing the feathers, okay? So we're going to put a few of them around our cap, okay? And then I'm going to go ahead and put one right on the top part, another one towards the top. And then we're going to start to link our wiring into those hooks. This is probably one of the best ways. If you're a crafter, you're watching, and you have another tip of how to put the fairy lights other than this, definitely go ahead and let us know. It's always good to share advice and to share ideas and tips. That's how we grow as a community. So I'm going to go ahead and put another hook down, okay? And then we're going to go ahead and put that down as well. Okay. I know some people or some content creators, they don't like for other people to write comments and give advice because they feel like it's taking away from their expertise. I don't feel that way at all. I absolutely don't feel that way at all. So if you have a tip go ahead and put it in the comment. I don't feel that way at all. Okay, we learn from each other. Okay, so yeah, so I went ahead and put down that other hook, and then you see how I'm going to go ahead and slide that wiring right underneath that hook. That's why you want to put that hook down facing towards the feathers. Okay, and slide that right underneath there. Okay, once we put a few of them down, they won't pop out of place. They won't come out. It's perfect. Like these hooks really are a saving because they really do a good job as far as that, without you having to use any type of adhesive to do this, because you don't want to use adhesive to put down these fairy lights. It's best to go ahead and use these hooks. I'm just going to go ahead and finish putting down the hooks all around, and you guys can watch. Then I'm going to go ahead and tuck the wiring of my lighting into the hooks, and then that's basically it. Then I'll go ahead and probably put the light on to see how it looks so far, and then we'll go ahead and add the rest of our layers to our graduation cap. But yeah, guys, this is turning out really, really nice. I hope you guys like it. I hope you guys are enjoying the process the same way that I did. I mean, I was not supposed to make this cap that night that I made it, because I said I need to film it in the morning during the sunlight because I get better lighting. But I was so hyped to film this cap. Like once I got the feathers home, well, I was waiting on the fairy lights from Amazon because I had everything else. So once the fairy lights got delivered, and they got delivered like at 6, 7 o'clock at night. I don't know why Amazon coming so late, but they got here like at 6, 7 o'clock. I said, you know what? I don't care. I'm filming this. And then I went ahead and broke out the camera and went ahead and began filming because I was so, so excited. So excited. If you guys love the movie The Princess and the Frog, I know you guys are excited too, but I just love it. It's like Disney had finally gotten a black princess, and it just made us all, as black people, it just made us feel really good. So I love this cap. We're also going to be doing Little Mermaid as well. Okay, I'm going to be doing both Little Mermaids, Caucasian and African American. Okay, if they have one in Spanish, I'll be doing her too. Cause why not? Cause why not? So yeah, so let me just go ahead and finish putting down these hooks, and then we'll go ahead and attach the wires through all of the hooks, and then I'll come back and show you guys what we're looking like so far. So I went ahead and I went and I put down all of our hooks, and then we're just gonna go ahead and click like or attach the wires underneath those hooks. Okay, just gonna take the wire all the way around until there's no more wire left. Okay, and this is how we're looking so far. You can't even see those hooks. Then I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the lights so you guys can see how it looks before we add our 3D layers. Okay, and that's how it looks. I know you might see too much glare on my camera, but yeah, but this is how we're looking, guys. I love this. I love this. The lights give it just an extra touch of wow, okay? So definitely consider adding those to your graduation caps. I mean, the more embellishments, the more things that you add, of course, you can increase the prices if you're making these to sell. Now, these fairy lights came in a pack of 6 for only $6. That means each light only costs us $1, and we are adding about $5 to $6 more worth of value to our graduation cap. Just keep that in mind, okay? I want to say the total cost of making this cap was about $12. $12 to $13, no more than that. The cap itself from Amazon was $10, but you don't have to sell the full cap. Okay, you can sell just a template alone, which I'm going to be offering those for sale as well as the full cap. But the cap itself costs $10. Then one page of sticker paper, it's like 55 cents. Okay, then one sheet of laminate, probably about 50 60 cents. Okay, when you add up the cost to make this all together, plus your light, plus the feather bow was probably the most expensive part of this because it came in a 2 yard roll and we used 1 yard, so 1 yard would be about $2 because the bow altogether was $4, so we used half of it. So it was about $13 to $14 to make this cap. So, and if you sell it for about 50, $60, $65, to be honest with you, because you're selling the full cap and not just a template. With the full cap, 55, $65, okay? And you've only paid about $14 worth of supplies to create this, okay? So yeah, you're making a good, pretty amount of profit. And graduation season is here. We're right now we're in pre-graduation season, okay? May is graduation season. You start doing your designs now, start showcasing them, start advertising them. By the time graduation season hits, you got orders coming in the door. People want to order. You know what I'm saying? You making $45 off of each cap. By the time you sell 10 of them, you done made $450, okay? And the supply cost is nothing. And if you want to make the templates by itself, then of course you can do that as well and still walk away with a good amount of profit. Because now you're minusing the $10 that it costs for you to get that cap. Now you're looking at about $3 of cost just to make the cap topper. That's nothing, guys, nothing. One of my other videos, I'll definitely do a better breakdown on pricing for you guys, so you guys can know how to price your items, okay? But yeah, I'm sorry. We're putting down the first layer of our 3D, which is basically one of the images without the laminate, okay? And then I added some foam dots. You can find the foam adhesive dots at Dollar Tree as well. Okay, these I got from Amazon, but you can definitely get these from Amazon from Dollar Tree as well. The ones at Dollar Tree I actually prefer more, but I forgot to pick some up the last time that I went. So I got these from Amazon for about $5, and they came in two different sizes, one with big dots, one with small dots. And we're just gonna go ahead and place that on top of the previous image on the template. Okay, just place it right on top and kind of lightly pat it down, okay? These foam dots the sticker is very strong. The sticky back is very strong. So once you place it down, it's not going anywhere. Just make sure that you line it up correctly to where the image is on the template. Because once you put it down, once you stick it, you won't be able to pick it back up, okay? So now I'm going to go ahead and add some more foam dots to our other layer. Our second layer, once again, is the one without the laminate, okay? The laminated layer, of course, is going to be the very last one that we put on because that's going to go on top, okay? So we save that one for last. I'm just going to go ahead and add some dots around that, okay? Then I'm going to go ahead and peel off the backing of each dot. This is probably the most tedious part of this whole project, is peeling off. Peeling off all those sticker backs, okay? Because it feels like a million of them, okay? So peeling off that, and then we're going to go ahead and place that right directly on top of that first layer, okay? And then we're going to go ahead and put on our laminated layer. And that's going to top this off. If you want to do more layers than this, by all means, feel free to. The more layers you do, the more 3D effect it'll give the cap. But I feel like 3 layers is a good amount, okay? But you can do 4, 5, 6. It's up to you. You can print off as many layers as you want to, cut them out, and just keep on stacking them until you're happy, okay? So now we're going to go ahead and add the last and final layer. And then I'm going to show you guys how that looks. And I'm going to go ahead and put on the other layers. I think with the other layers, the class of 2025, I probably will speed that clip up because once you see me do the first layer, you'll know how to do the other ones. It's super simple. So then we're going to go ahead and finish putting on the gemstones because I had forgot to go back and put the other gemstones on the other firefly. So I went ahead and used my balloon dots once again, put it on the butt or the firefly part, the lightning part of the firefly. I'm trying to make this make sense. Sometimes I don't know what terminology to use, but we're gonna go ahead and rhinestone the booty of the firefly like we did the other one, okay? And then we're gonna go ahead and put the sticky dots on the back of that, and that's our final and our last layer. We're gonna go ahead and put that on top of the other layer, okay? But yeah, but this is how super simple and easy this is, and look at how nice it's turning out. I mean, it's so nice. I just wish that my camera was a lot better quality because I'm telling you guys, this thing looks so, so good. It really, really does, okay? And look how glittery that layer is. When I took this cap outside to take a picture of it, man, that coloring was so nice. I said, wow, whoever wears this, you're going to see them shine from afar. Like it's that nice. These laminate sheets really, really are really cool. Like I would never do projects again without using the laminate sheets. Like I'm so addicted and hooked to using them now because they just add an extra touch of wildness to any project, okay? So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and add this layer now. Our final layer on top of the princess and the diploma, and then I'm going to show you guys how it looks, and we're going to go ahead and do the class of 2025, and that's going to be our last images, and then we're going to go ahead and finish out our graduation cap. After adding these images is basically it. I think I'm going to go in and add some of those sticky back rhinestones to the cap itself, to the template, just to give it an extra touch of wow. But yeah, there's our top layer on there. We're going to go ahead and pat that down, okay? Sorry if my hand gets in the way a little bit. And then that's how we're looking on the top. Look at that. It's so cute, guys. Like, look at that. Look at that. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. You have to give this a try. You just have to. You just have to. So I went ahead and added the dots already on the other layers, the other images, and then we're going to go ahead and put those on the bottom part of our cap. Of course, our laminate one is going to go on last. So we're going to go ahead and put on the other two. Then I'm going to come back and show you guys exactly how the cap is looking. goes our last and final layer, okay? And we're basically done, y'all. Only thing left for me to do is to probably add the tassel on so you guys can get the full effect. Now, I was trying to get you guys some, well, you'll see here in a second because I'm going to try to show you guys how it looks. But like I said, that the feathers kept coming out so dark on the footage, like a bluish, and I wanted to give you guys the full effect of how it looks. And I just, the lighting just won right, because if you see this in person versus my camera, then you'll know why I'm tripping, because it just ain't right. So I moved to another part of the house where the lighting was a little bit better, where it wasn't that bright, but the feathers are still giving still giving like a royal blue. It wasn't really showing you guys the full effect. The laminate wasn't shining the way it was supposed to shine. It just wasn't doing what it was supposed to do on camera. But in person, man, this thing was wow. When I showed it to my daughter, she was like, Mommy, you made that? It's like, man, that's how you know it looked good, when the kid have to ask you if you made it. And she know I'm always making stuff, but she had to second guess my expertise. So you know it was nice. Yeah, this came out so nice. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. But most importantly, I hope you guys give this a try. I went ahead and added some rhinestones in the center of the template as well. Those sticky back gold rhinestones. I didn't add a whole lot because the design itself had a lot going on. I felt like I added a few of them just to give it more of a pop, and it came out nice. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys my Instagram where I put up a video of it, because it seems like that video came out a lot better than what my camera was showing, and I'll show you guys here. Or is it my my YouTube? Okay, one of my reels I put up, of course, is showcasing you guys this cap. This is how it came out, and it looks a lot better as far as the feather color, so you guys can see the actual purple or plumness of that feather color in the actual reel. Okay, still didn't do it much justice, but it looks a lot better as far as coloring wise than my actual camera. Okay, it's very difficult trying to get things to look as good as they look in person on camera, is what I'm realizing as being a content creator. Very difficult. And this is how it looks with the fairy lights on. It's so beautiful, guys. Definitely give this a try. Definitely give this a try, okay? If you like, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, I don't know what you're waiting on. We got a whole lot more crafts to show. There's a whole lot we got going on, and you don't want to miss it. So I'm going to leave the video, end the video on here. You can go ahead and check out my YouTube shorts and my Instagram to look at this beautiful cap. The giveaway is going to be in the link in the description box down below. It's going to say giveaway. Once you click it, it'll take you there. Get it before it's gone. It's going to be the giveaway of this 3D template, so you can go ahead and make your own graduation cap. Crafters, definitely grab that before they're gone. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you. I appreciate you. And like always, God bless.